So hello, I'm on with my review of Ancient Magus Bride episode 9. Not a really good episode, not as good as last week. Last week was really like a climatic, big reveal, right? Narrative driven, very narrative driven. But this though, as I expected though, was kind of predictable. It was very character driven instead. So we see Chise, we see Ruth, how they live together, like Ruth's running around, he's doing all this dog stuff, he's like guarding the place, learning the surroundings, attacking her from behind, playing with her and so on, right? So those are good and dandy. Som Angela part, and I love how Angela confronted Chise. And then we get the whole love story thing. The last story a bit later, because that's like a little story in itself, right? That was very interesting. The anime is kind of weird. It's like, so it's a love story. She is man and a vampire. She's in love with him, I guess, but she won't admit it. There's just like a little weird, like 5 minutes, like a little side story there. It's very weird. And I guess that's kind of Arthur likes. I guess it's like, yeah, like a little bit there. And then ends the Dragon Strike. So anyway, let's do the first thing then. The first thing called is Chise and Ruth. They go a little back and forth between their parts, so see like him sleeping outside her room and so on, and interacting with her. So it's a lot of different scenes here to kind of go through. But generally, I think it's important to note, I would say at least, that he knows her memory. I think it's very clear that it's very much implied at least that he knows about her mom's suicide. That has been very, very clear. He's like, if that day was the day you got cursed, I want it to be lifted as soon as possible, yeah, and so on, right? So he doesn't mention his mom, her mom, but it's very, very clear that he's talking about that. And also see, of course, her the reading about her mom is like, you deserve to die, or say something like, and I want you to be alive, or something like that, to her, right? After the whole Elias part, so of course, her mom is we're talking about. I would say that for sure, right? So yeah, they know some stuff that Chise though doesn't mention Isabel to him and so on, but I guess that's kind of fine because Chise already knew his backstory, I guess, before she merged with him with the familiar pact him, because she kind of could see his memory, right? You can see Matthew's memory as well and so on with the whole blob thing. So I guess she already had his memories before they did it, so she didn't say like, I know, but Isabella's like, I really knew about Isabella, so that's about that, I guess. But yeah, generally, cute scenes with them together. He's very protective. It's like, and he says like you're an older, bigger brother. I think she said, yeah, I was supposed to say that. It's like you have like an older, protective brother, and like, so yeah. So great character interaction there, and then we get to the Angela part. I find it a little slow, I would say, or like whatever. But then we get to the really big thing there, when she is like, Chise, you can stop being his slave. You can actually be your own person. You don't have to follow him. This ring works for you. And Chise kind of snaps at her, right? But kind of stops herself from not doing it. So I think that's very interesting. It was very, very interesting scene there. What looked a little weird though animation-wise. I was like, what's happening? It was like, yeah, it was a little weird how it looked there. But that's a very impactful scene. And especially I think it's the end of the end, it's like, why don't you leave him? He's cray. Like, yeah, leave that man. He's a kind of evil monster thing. We're not evil, but he kind of is evil, or kind of controlling. I guess it's like, we don't know yet, but today kind of think he's not actually evil, but he's using evil magic, right? So he turns to evil, or it's hard to not become evil because he's using the dark arts. So that's kind of how I feel about Elias. As you see later here, when she of course enters his room and so on. But I think, yeah, something like that. So anyway, you see the room scene then. And yeah, like, I have to say, I think it was very predictable. He was gonna be, I can't control my body. Yeah, that was like the most obvious thing ever, right? She lived for 2 weeks, she enters it, and he kinda just, yeah, I don't know, coils her with his like half snake body. He reminded me a lot of Taimat in Better Fire 3, with like the half snake body, half like draconic overtop body, and also for his dark and black and everything. It's like dark magic, so it's like, yeah, it's like Taimat in Better Fire 3. But anyway, Chise just be like, oh, I'm fine with it, don't worry, I see monsters all the lie, it's no problem for me. It's kind of weird, right? She's a weirdo in, yeah. she's a weirdo, the main character in this anime, in that sense. She's very calmly like, oh, it's fine, yes, you could be uncontrolled monster weird. And then he lies over her and get that scene there where he's like dripping saliva on her. Very, very awkward scene. And I expected, and I actually, I don't know how I feel about that, I expected it to be a longer scene in the bathroom. Not her like crying and that, but it was kind of weird that you just kind of just pan over there when she's like waking up, dreaming after being with him, then dreaming about her mom again, then going to the bathroom, right? And we see you kind of going down and kind of, oh, she's like crying in the bathroom now. Then it just ends. That felt kind of weird. Like I expected not to see some kind of major scene there, But I would like to have something there, because if she's kind of like, if she's a dead inside, like there's no reaction to her, like, you know, nightmare dreaming about her mom after this kind of weird monster drew on her kind of thing, even though she loves this monster, it's just kind of weird, and she's like, whatever, take a bathroom. So it felt like that scene, maybe it's supposed to be that I used to think, but yeah, that's what I mean. It kind of felt like it's supposed to be a hint to some kind of, you know, mental breakdown bathroom scene you've seen, you know, whatever, media, TV shows, Hollywood movies, so on, right, whatever. Is it supposed to be hinted to that? I kind of felt there was, but it was so short that it was very unclear that was happening. So I don't know how I feel about that scene, because I'm gonna assume that kind of happened there, I guess, but they didn't really show it. I don't know, yeah. So that scene was weird to me, in the sense that I'm just kind of wondering where they're going in that direction. I don't know. And anyway, then I get to the vampire thing. The vampire thing, yeah, it was a good story. Nice, beautiful, and also very sad. And this anime is so weird in a sense, because like here's another side character. We probably never see her again. Ran on vampire chicks, felt like a succubus though, but they kept calling her a vampire in Japanese. So I guess it's a vampire, but she felt way more succubus. Also the whole moose thing, because she was like, oh, I take people's blood and I give them a talent. That sounds more like, you know, typical Greek moose, right? It's like infusing you with skills. Vampire, you take your blood. And a succubus I could see giving you some kind of magic if you guess your life energy. So that's really weird they call it vampire. I have to say also her dressing was also very succubus-wise, but still though. So it was very interesting whole story. Like she was like, oh, this man, you know, admit it, but I kind of fall in love with him when I was young, or he was young, and I was just there. Accident, he could see me by accident, and you know, he has no real desire. He lives the books, writes some stuff. Yeah, he has like no. He has nothing, he doesn't want to sell his soul, right? So I can't like interact with him. He needs to have like a real desire. That felt really weird though, and really sad, because like, and also kind of beautiful. But it felt really weird that he though wasn't decided to meet her again. So yeah, that to me was kind of weird. I wouldn't she be like, if you give me my blood, you can see me now. Like I can give you the vision of you know, like Chise has or something like that. Could that be a thing for him though? Because wasn't that like his only desire to see her again? So shouldn't be able to do that instead. And then of course he did see her again in next to Chise, because she can like, you know, summon stuff, and so she's very connected to all the fairies. So you got to see her at the end. So that was nice. She's like, please return, and then she started kissing out, yeah, making out with Chise there as a thank you. We talked about kind of like give and take. So I have to give you a kiss here because you let him see me. So I have to like pay for that. So that was very interesting, very weird, the whole thing there. I read a book about his interaction with the vampire in his garden once when he was young and so on. It was, yeah, so it was beautiful, but also very sad, because she was just stuck in that. Like she was stuck in hoping he could see me one day, hoping he has a desire one day, so I can like give him something. Because then if he has a desire that I can actually like trade off with my vampire skills, something like a, you know, demon, right? That's succubus demon, pack demon, whatever, and like then I can show myself to him again finally. So it's like we very weird underlying love story there, very weird. But also again, this anime is like, we just throw it in there. It's like, throw it in there. Probably never gonna be a topic again. Just throw it in there. Very special, very special. Anyway, then we get to the last part, right? Elias has been hiding in this river to, I don't know, control his body again. I expected to see him in ship before we see the opening. I think it was in the preview next week, I guess. And then we see apparently Lindel's familiar, which is a seal. And do they have seals in Iceland? They have seals in Sweden and Norway and so on. Probably might have some seals there. I guess there's a kind of seal familiar. Yeah, why not? And yeah, so he's like, yeah, some kind of seal, and she's, I think it was a woman. It's like, yeah, summon you to the land of dragons again. So that definitely gonna turn off the main story again. Turn on the main story again there, but going to the dragons, right? Going to the land of dragons. We really get no hint why they're going there, but I guess that's yeah, throwing it up. You see in the preview, they'll see Ruth and Chise and so on fly together on top of a dragon. So that big dragon is gonna pick them up, right? Fly them back to Iceland probably, and it's gonna be another story there. And that feels pretty good, because it's kind of weird that we had the Elias part and Linda, and they went away and talked to someone herself when she was like doing the whole dragon sky thing. It was very beautiful, but it was weird. I felt like we had like the main narrative story which kind of left us there, right? So hopefully that's gonna be happening next episode. We're talking about what they actually discussed episode 3. And that's gonna be something kind of, because dragons are dying or magic has been diminishing. Probably, hopefully, that's gonna go into the main overall story, I think, of the anime. I think so. Who knows? But I hope so, because now we had the other guy, right? We had the immortal guy, and now he's out for like next 10 episodes on that. So we need something else, kinda. We had like an intermediate episode here. Can do an episode, and it's time for the next narrative episode, right? So I think that's gonna be happening probably. So anyway, see you next week. Have a great day.